In 2019 and 2020, John Ahle drove in a total of 12 races with no wins. Fast forward just a few short years later, and in 2023, the 26-year-old has driven in almost 1,100 races with nearly 150 victories in this season alone. Not only has this native of New Jersey become a sought-after reinsman here at Ocean Downs, but he is currently the track's leading driver. So let's get to know John a little better in this edition of our post-time Q&A segment. How did you get into the business?
I met Sean Valley. He was going away on vacation, Australia I think it was, and he was shorthanded at the barn. So he asked if I can go by. I don't know anything about horses or horse racing, but I can clean a bucket out. That wasn't too hard, so that's how I got started. And I guess that was about 8 years ago or so. And here we are now.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Not many. I'm a mediocre cook. I could surf and snowboard averagely. Not much more than that.
What's the last picture you took on your phone?
This morning with Danielle Daly. I don't know if you know Danielle. She works for Noel. She rides for him too. And it's her birthday today, so happy birthday to her. We were having cake, just laughing, having a good time. It was a fun morning. Covered in mud because it rained all morning, but that doesn't bother you.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten about driving and training horses?
Best advice, be patient. It's not always, you don't always have to rush. You're not always gonna have the favorite that can get to the top, and sometimes you gotta work out a trip, and just be patient and make your move when you feel it's right, I guess.
If you could be the member of any TV show family, which family would it be and why?
I would be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I would like to be with them. If you ever seen the house, it's a big house, and Will Smith would probably be fun to live with.
What's on your bucket list?
I got a lot of things on the bucket list. I'm still young, so driving in there's so many big races. You dream about that, of course. Things like the Hambo and the North American Cup, stuff like that. A lot of places I'd like to visit. Australia, New Zealand, Europe, travel a little bit. That's one thing I'd like to do.
What is your pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve, slow drivers in the left lane. Can't stand that. Or, if they're side by side on a 2-lane highway and no one's going past each other and you're just stuck behind them. Nothing worse than that.
Why do you love harness racing?
There's a lot of reasons to love harness racing. It's different every day. It's never the same day. I just love horses in general. They're great animals to work with. Being outside, being outdoors, I could do it 365 without a worry.
What's your favorite thing to spend money on?
Food, I guess. Love food. Good food. Food is can't beat it.
If you could get in a time machine, where would you go and why?
Back to my childhood with family vacations. Sometimes you take that, when you're a kid, you take it for granted, time spent with family. And as you get older, you don't always have the time anymore. And if I can go back, I would love to relive those moments.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, late night snacks. Everyone knows you shouldn't do it, but sometimes you're coming home from the races, it's midnight, 1 in the morning, and you still stop at the Wawa for a little something, even though you shouldn't.
What's your best life advice?
Someone once told me, if you want something bad enough, for me, like driving, if you want it bad enough, just keep showing up. Even, maybe you have a couple drives and they don't seem like they're the best. Just show up and, don't stop working towards what you want. And eventually it'll work out for you.